Wonderful musician. To like Phil Upchurch, who Scott, you know, and actually was where in Crane High School on the West Side, which was where originally a Jewish neighborhood where the Chess brothers grew up, and they started Chess Records. Them and a lot of them move out of the West Side, and then the musicians who were recording for Chess Records, who are African American, move in to go to the same high school 20 years later. And then, but you know, we keep expanding it. Chris Morris, Carrie Baker, great writers. Chris went to my high school. We're going to talk about geography in a sec. Scott Galloway, a writer whose work on this area was a big influence on my direction and everything. And Paul Bodie, who's right here, who's the one person in this room who actually spent time with John Lennon. About how the different musicians responded to Dr. King's assassination. And what Syl Johnson did was he thought a lot about what was happening and why it was happening. And he came up with a concept album, Is It Because I'm Black? And this was the first R&B album that completely was about social issues as a concept album. I mean, Curtis Mayfield wrote amazing, terrific songs about the movement, relating to the movement. But he would also on his album put on love songs too, which is also important, and he did it beautifully. But this was the first album where every single song deals with social issues. And the title track, Is It Because I'm Black, was him asking a question. Why are these things happening? Why is this happening? What's going on here? And so this came out in 1970, and we're going to hear, and I'll also talk about it musically too, stood out too, because, you know, a lot of people talk about trying to define the Chicago soul sound, and I'm very much against defining it as such. And again, to argue.
Dreams that I once knew, wondering why my dreams never came true. Is it because I'm black? Somebody tell me, what can I do? Oh Lord, oh, something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Yeah.
Went to Howard University, and just an amazing talent. I mean, he could sing beautifully, compose beautifully, arrange beautifully. And one of the things that, and anyway, so he was also a protege of Curtis Mayfield. Curtis brings him to Chicago. Curtis Mayfield hires Donny Hathaway to do arranging, to do producing, to do composing, to do A&R work. But Donny Hathaway's talent was so immense that he wasn't going to be like second banana to anybody. Another of Donny Hathaway's talents that people don't really talk about, but they should, and that's one of the reasons I brought up in the book, was he was extremely generous. Everybody who I spoke to in the book has a story of like Donny Hathaway doing something completely generous for people. Like he would do people's arrangements for free. Wow. He would do their production for free. And these were like people with like small little like labels, little operations. Yeah. Donny Hathaway. It came like a running joke. It's like, yeah, blizzard of 1967. My car's stuck. 20 feet of snow. Donny Hathaway comes through a plow. You know. It's like,
I didn't know so customers. It's unexpected. Oh my God.
Hey, Reggie. With the Donny Hathaway song This Christmas.
Yeah.
This is Nadine McKinoor who wrote the lyrics.
Oh, wow.
Reggie reissued some Donny Hathaway stuff included.
Honored to meet you. Yeah. Well, I used to work at Rhino Records for a long time.
No, I'm sorry.
M-A-R-Y.
5, 4, 2, 3, 7, 11.
Pull my camera back out.
Those are great cameras. I have
Okay.
Here.
You gotta explain the flowers, right? She gotta explain the flowers to
I
you.
told him it's for his wife, but she's not here. If you take the picture,
My cousin's here.